Hello, everyone. Tonight we are stepping into the kind of garden that only shows up in dreams, or maybe in places where dreams are born. The stars are out, but barely whispering. The moonlight doesn't just shine, it sort of settles, like dust across old velvet. You're not rushing, you're not searching, you're just arriving. And where you're arriving is somewhere most people never find. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really like what I do here. And hey, while you're here, drop your location and local time in the comments. I love seeing where everyone's listening from. Now, turn off the lights, maybe turn on the fan for some soft background music, and let's enjoy our evening ride together. You stand in front of the gate. Not a gate with hinges or creaking wood or chains. This one is a tall arch woven entirely of silver ivy. The leaves are real but don't quite move like they're from here. They shimmer under the moonlight like they've been brushed with stardust and whisper back and forth with a breeze that doesn't touch your face. As you step closer, the air shifts, not colder, not warmer, just quieter. Like the hush of a concert hall right before the first note. The path beyond is simple, stone tiles, worn smooth with time and maybe something more. Dreams, footsteps, waiting. The moss that grows between the stones is soft and thick, a green so deep it borders on black under this kind of light. And already you're barefoot. You don't remember when you kicked your shoes off, but they're gone. Your feet sink a little with each step. It doesn't tickle, it doesn't itch, it just welcomes you, like moss should. You're not alone here. Not really. The garden isn't empty, it's just still. There are crickets, sure, but they sound like they're politely whispering, not chirping. You think you hear the rustle of something, a fox, maybe, or a rabbit with somewhere important to be. The trees on either side lean in slightly, not enough to threaten, but enough to suggest they're curious. Their leaves are silver green, with a touch of blue in the veins. No birds, no buzz, just breath, just quiet. At your sides, the walls are ivy and rose, wrapped around marble columns that have seen a lot more moonrises than you have. You run your hand along one as you pass. The stone is cool, but not cold. Everything here feels like it's been waiting for you. Not urgently, not expectantly, just patiently. Like the way water waits at the bottom of a well. Still. Reflective. Then you see it. A small lantern hanging from a wrought iron hook. The flame inside isn't flame at all, but something blue and slow, like the pulse of a jellyfish. It casts no shadows, only soft glows. The light doesn't try to guide you or chase the dark away. It just is. It floats inside the glass, like it's dreaming too. You breathe in through your nose. The scent hits you right in the memory. Night jasmine. Not the overwhelming kind, but faint and floral and familiar. It wraps itself around your shoulders like a shawl your grandmother would have handed you on a porch swing. Comfort without weight. Somewhere up above, clouds part just a little and let a silver streak of moonlight pour right onto the path in front of you. You walk into it, and it feels like stepping into water that doesn't wet your skin. You tilt your head back. The sky is navy silk, dotted with stars too lazy to twinkle. They pulse instead. Slow, rhythmic, like they've synced with your breath without asking. There's a bench ahead. Stone, carved with vines that match the living ones curling nearby. You sit without thinking. The stone should be cold, but it isn't. It should be hard, but it isn't. The moment your weight settles, the world hushes just a bit more. The silence here isn't absence, it's presence. It's the garden saying, You don't have to do anything now. You've done enough. You close your eyes, only for a second. Behind them, the darkness is warm, not empty. You hear the leaves sway. You hear something drip gently, dew from a branch maybe. And you swear, just faintly, you hear wind chimes in the distance. Or are they shells clinking together? Either way, it's a sound that knows how to wait. And somewhere, you feel watched. Not in a spooky way, don't worry, this isn't that kind of story. It's more like being seen, but not stared at. Someone who knows you're here. Someone who's been here longer. Someone quiet. But you're not ready to meet them yet. First, you just sit. Just breathe. The garden lets you. And slowly, you let yourself. You rise from the bench, not because you have to, but because your feet seem to know it's time to move. The garden isn't pushing you forward, but it's gently tugging, like a tide around your ankles. The stone path curves now, not in a hurry, not with purpose, just enough to give you that sense of wandering without being lost, which is exactly what you're doing. Wandering, barefoot, in the moonlight, in a garden that somehow remembers what dreaming feels like. As you move, you notice the moss thickens and softens beneath your feet, cushioning every step like some gentle promise. There are mushrooms now, too, tucked along the edges, glowing faintly in pale shades of lavender and mint. Not the fairy tale kind with faces and voices, just quiet witnesses. They don't ask for attention, they just shine in their stillness. The air shifts. You feel it before you see it. It's cooler here, laced with something different. Not cold, no, never cold in this place. But it smells now of damp earth and cedar, like someone opened an ancient box in a hidden attic. The sort of scent that slows your heart just a little. You pass under a twisted arch of hanging willow branches, the kind that drag their fingers through the air. They brush your shoulders as you duck through, and for a moment you feel like the garden's given you a soft little pat on the back, telling you, "Yep, you're doing great." Then you hear it. A sound so soft, it doesn't break the quiet, it just joins it. A slow, deliberate step. Not yours. Someone else is walking nearby. You pause. So does the sound. You tilt your head slightly. Nothing moves. No wind, no owl, just a sort of still tension like a held breath. Then, step. Just one. And then silence again. You don't run, of course not. You keep walking, steady, as if this is all part of the story, which it is. The garden doesn't feel any less safe, but it does feel watched, known, like your presence here is no longer anonymous. A glimmer of movement to your left. You glance without turning your head. Nothing. But there, just where the path bends again, you see him. Barely outlined. A figure dressed in deep gray, almost fading into the shadows of the hedges. He's standing, facing away from you, completely still. Not frozen, just not interested in moving.
The Silent Prince. You know it's him. Don't ask how. The way his posture rests, the way the silver vines on the stone around him seem to lean inward, the way your breath catches without panic. This is his place. And somehow now it's yours too. He begins to walk. No gesture, no greeting. Just the faintest motion forward, like a boat pushed by a breeze too soft to hear. His steps are silent. Not careful, just practiced. Like he's been here so long the garden gave up trying to make noise around him. So you follow. Because what else would you do? Each time his robe, dark, silken, embroidered with thread that glints when the light wants it to, shifts as he moves, it feels like watching a shadow you trust. His hair is long, dark, pulled loosely at the nape, tied with something you can't quite see, and maybe shouldn't. The path he takes is different now, less formal, still cobbled, but with roots breaking through here and there. You notice little details again. Candles nestled in nooks of tree trunks, burning with flames too pale to be real. And stones etched with runes, or maybe just patterns time left behind. He stops. At a gate. Not a gate like before. This one is made of branches twisted naturally into an arch. It's not locked. It never was. But you wait. Because the moment feels like it needs silence to bloom. Then, he moves aside. Just a little. As if to say, this next step is yours, not mine. You pass under. The scent changes again. Honeysuckle this time. And cool, almost metallic night air, like the kind that comes right after a summer rain. Beyond the gate, the space opens wider. The garden changes. You feel it. Less enclosed. More sky. More moon. You look up. Stars swirl now, almost lazily, like they're being stirred by the same breeze that's brushing your face. The prince is just a few steps behind. Always there. Always silent. Not lurking. Not looming. Just present. A constant. You walk to the center of this new space, where the stones fade into grass again. There's something ahead. You can't see it clearly yet, but it glows softly, pulsing like breath. He doesn't rush you. He never would. You take your time. The grass here is dotted with flowers that only open at night, pale blue petals with golden hearts, nodding in the breeze, or maybe nodding just for you. And the whole time the prince follows, not leading anymore, but shadowing, escorting, like a figure in a lullaby that doesn't need to be sung out loud. You pause again. You look over your shoulder. He's still there. He always is.
The glow ahead deepens, not in brightness, but in presence. You feel it before you see it clearly, like walking toward a memory you've never lived. It draws you forward, and your pace slows, not from hesitation, but reverence. This isn't the kind of light that burns. It hums. Warm, silvery, soft as the inside of a shell. You step through a ring of silver leaf hedges, and there it is. The lantern tree. It stretches upward, taller than any other thing in the garden, yet it doesn't overwhelm the sky. Instead, it cradles it. Wide, gentle branches twist like music frozen mid-song. From every curve and crook hangs a delicate lantern. Hundreds, maybe thousands, all softly glowing. No flames, just light. Each one pulsing like a heartbeat just below sleep. The prince stops at the edge of the clearing. You sense him pause, his presence as still as a statue, but never cold, never rigid. He's giving you the moment, offering it without ceremony. No words, just the quiet gift of being allowed to see. You move closer, each step softened by the thick grass beneath you, each breath slower than the one before. The lanterns don't flicker. They shimmer, as if lit from within by fragments of moonlight or distant dreams. You tilt your head up, the boughs of the tree swaying slightly in a breeze that doesn't touch your skin. And between the lanterns, the stars peek through, close to night, like they're leaning in. A bench circles the base of the trunk, grown right from the wood itself, not crafted, grown. The bark curls into shapes that cradle the body just right, like the tree knew you'd need a place to rest, and whispered to the ground until it rose to meet you. You sit, and it feels like everything stops moving, Just a beat. Not the garden, not time. You. It's quiet here, but not empty. The prince approaches. You hear nothing, but you know. Maybe it's the way the lanterns shift their rhythm when he draws near. Maybe it's just that subtle hush of breath you weren't holding anymore. He stands beside the bench, not looming, not lingering. He looks up at the lights, then down at you. His face is calm, unreadable in the way stone statues are unreadable, but not inhuman. There's kindness there. Deep, still kindness, like a lake no wind touches. You don't need to speak. It's not that you can't. It's that nothing you could say would matter more than this moment already does. The prince turns and moves to a small pool beside the tree. You hadn't seen it before. It's shallow, rimmed with smooth black stone. Water so still it reflects the lanterns perfectly, as if they've bloomed underwater too. He kneels, cups water in his hands, then simply watches it run through his fingers and back into the pool.
You follow. You kneel beside him. You don't mirror his motion, you just sit with him. And in the silence, you notice how clear everything becomes. Not sharp, clear. Like looking through a soft lens, but finally understanding the shapes behind it. You glance into the water. Your reflection stares back, not perfectly, more like a suggestion of you. A gentler version, less weight around the eyes, less tension at the jaw, more softness, more moonlight in your outline. The prince watches too, not judging, just watching, and somehow his gaze makes you believe that maybe, just maybe, that softer reflection is the real one. He stands again, slowly, as if even rising is part of the stillness. You watch as he lifts one of the lanterns from a low branch. It detaches with no sound, no resistance, just light in his hand. He turns to you, and for the first time, he offers something, the lantern. He doesn't place it in your hand. He holds it toward you, steady, his dark sleeve falling just enough to show a pale wrist marked with something faint. A scar? A line? A symbol? It vanishes before you're sure. You take the lantern. It's warm, not hot, featherlight, and it hums, not in noise, but in feeling. It vibrates just enough in your fingers to make you feel like you're holding a living thing, or a dream, or maybe both. He nods, once. And you understand. This moment is yours now. He walks back toward the shadows of the trees, not away, just back into place. He never needed to be the center. The garden is. You are. The lantern is. You sit again, lantern in hand. It dims slightly in your grasp, not because it's fading, but because it's sinking with you, matching your rhythm, slowing you down, slowing everything down. You lean back against the trunk of the tree, soft bark against your shoulder blades, and with the lantern resting near your chest, you let your eyes drift closed, just enough to blur the lights above. The garden breathes. So do you. The prince watches from a distance, the way clouds watch from behind the moon. And for now, nothing more is asked of you.
The prince glides ahead, though you never quite see him move. One moment he's standing near the moss-covered bench where you paused, and the next he's further down the path, just at the edge of another archway woven from silvered branches and dangling petals. You follow, of course, quietly, like it's a dream and making too much noise might break it. As you pass beneath that arch, something shifts. The air is cooler, but not cold, more like a soft exhale against your cheek. The breeze carries a scent that's hard to name, a little like rain on stone, a little like candle wax that's just gone out. You step onto a circular clearing where the garden suddenly opens up, and there it is, the lantern tree. It rises from the center like it's grown out of the moon itself, its trunk wide and spiraled, its bark silver white and smooth as river glass. From every branch, a lantern hangs. Hundreds of them, maybe more. Some glow a soft blue, others the color of fresh cream, and a few flicker in the gentlest shade of gold, like tiny hearts beating in the dark. You catch your breath, and not because it's dramatic, you really just forget to breathe for a second. The prince walks to the base of the tree,
and turns to look at you, as if to say, "This is the part where you slow all the way down." You approach carefully, your feet sinking slightly into the velvet moss. The lanterns don't swing or chime, they hum, a barely there sound that settles behind your ears like distant lullabies you forgot you knew. He gestures toward a cluster of stones arranged in a crescent. You sit, not because you're tired, but because you feel invited, like the garden shaped this place with you in mind. You look up, and the branches above seem to stretch forever, twisting like constellations, cradling the sky. Some lanterns drift lower on long threads of silver silk. One floats close to you, hovering just above your knees, and you instinctively cup your hands beneath it. It settles there. The warmth is soft, not hot, just alive. You glance at the prince. He watches you, not intensely, not expectantly, just there, present, offering you the kind of attention that doesn't need to speak, the kind that says, "You've done enough." You sit with that for a while, long enough to feel your shoulders let go, your jaw soften, your thoughts loosen like tangled ribbons coming undone. Around you, the lantern tree glows brighter, but not harsh. It's like the tree responds to your quieting mind, like it knows you needed this. Not noise, not instruction, just permission to rest. You look back at the lantern in your lap. It pulses gently with your breath now, a low and steady rhythm that syncs with the soft hum of the garden. You don't know how, and it doesn't matter. It's not about figuring things out here. It's about sinking in. The prince moves again, but only slightly, just enough to draw your eyes toward the space behind him. There, in the deepest part of the clearing, is a second seat, carved from what looks like moonstone. It shimmers faintly, invitingly. He sits, not like royalty, like someone who's finally ready to share a story, even if it's never told out loud. You sit a little straighter, but not too much. You don't want to disturb the moment. Then something beautiful happens. One by one, the lanterns begin to dim, not in sadness, but like candles at the end of a long, soft celebration. Each wink of light feels like a sigh, a thank you, a good night. And slowly the clearing grows darker, not empty, but still. The kind of stillness you didn't realize you missed. You feel your eyes get heavier, but in the best way. Like sleep is sliding into place, not rushing in, just making itself known. The prince offers a final glance, one that feels like a promise. He won't speak. He doesn't need to. You're already listening. The hush of the garden deepens as you settle beneath the lantern tree. It's not silence in the way the world sometimes falls quiet. It's more like everything is listening. The trees, the moss, even the night air itself holds its breath with you. Not out of fear, out of awe. Your fingers relax around the lantern. It rests on your chest now, rising and falling with the slow tide of your breath. The warmth it gives off spreads through you like honey in warm tea, touching places inside you that you hadn't realized were still clenched tight. The prince stands a little farther away now. His posture remains the same. Tall, still, effortless. He doesn't need to move much to communicate what matters. You've grown used to the quiet between you, comfortable in the space where words don't reach. The garden responds to you both. Petals drift from high above, caught in the faintest breeze, glowing faintly as they spiral down. The sky has settled into a kind of silver twilight, where the stars no longer twinkle, they simply exist, calm and constant.
You let your head lean back against the tree. Its trunk is surprisingly soft. Not mushy, not bark rigid, somewhere in between. Like it knew how tired you'd be, how much you'd need a surface that didn't demand posture or alertness. Just rest. You feel your thoughts slow, not from fatigue, from peace. Memories float up, not loud or jagged, just soft-edged recollections. The kind that usually only show up right before sleep, when you're between waking and dreaming. Moments of laughter, of waiting, of walking alone. Bits of old light. They don't ache. Not here. The garden smooths their corners like river stones. You don't flinch at the thoughts. You just let them pass, as easily as the petals. The lantern in your hands dims a little more, not from weakness, because you're almost matched. Your rhythm, your breath, your heart, it's sinking. And somewhere in the distance, maybe the edge of the garden, maybe the edge of time itself, you hear water, just a trickle, maybe a brook, maybe starlight melting through leaves. Who knows? The prince hasn't moved. You glance at him one more time. This time he nods. And that simple gesture, the smallest tilt of his head, carries so much weight. Not heavy weight, sacred weight. Like permission. Like understanding. You close your eyes. Not because you must, because you can. The garden doesn't disappear when your eyes are shut. It presses in around you, close and kind. You can feel the vines near your feet, the way their tips curl like they're sighing. You can smell the faintest sweetness, lavender maybe, or memory. Everything slows. Your heartbeat, your breath, your thoughts, time. Nothing presses forward anymore. There's no push to think or decide or fix. You are enough in this exact stillness. And even if the world outside is still turning, this place, it remains, right here, waiting for you. Whether it's now, or tomorrow, or someday after a long, hard stretch, you'll find your way back. Maybe you'll follow the silver ivy again. Maybe the prince will appear in a half-forgotten dream. Maybe the lantern will flicker just once in the dark and remind you, you've been here before, and you are always welcome. In the hush, in the stillness, in the moonlit garden of the Silent Prince.
And now, as your breath settles into its slowest rhythm, the night folds softly around you like a silk coverlet. The lantern rests by your side, no longer glowing. It doesn't need to anymore. The light is in you now, carried gently in the quiet part of your chest where the garden touched you. The prince no longer stands nearby, or maybe he does. Maybe he's always nearby when the silence feels like safety. Maybe he never left, and neither did you. Sleep pulls at you like the tide pulling back from the shore, gentle and sure. Your thoughts, scattered like feathers before, are now hushed and resting. There's nothing left to chase, nothing more to earn. You've already arrived. Let the stars blink slowly above. Let the moss cradle your limbs. Let the final whispers of the garden ease you into that weightless place where dreams begin. You are safe here. You are home here. And long after this moment passes, the garden will remain, quietly glowing in the dark, just for you. Shh. Just sleep now. You've made it.
you're here. Good night.